Hello and welcome to Draw Cartoons. It is September and it is time for the Draw Cartoons Discord Art Showcase. Those of you who have been very productively drawing and doodling and sketching and coloring and all that good stuff over in the Discord, which by the way there is a link for it down in the description down below if you wish to join in. Who knows, I might feature your artwork next time. But yes, it's time to show off what you guys have been doing. If you end up enjoying this video, please click that like button, and if you haven't already, click that red button, that subscribe button. It really helps me out, and that way you'll be sure to catch all my future videos. Let's go. This first sketch by Turtle21 may just be a sketch, but it's a very good one. I love these shadows underneath the eyebrow. There's a lot of attention to detail there, especially with those very individual threads of hair coming out of the eyebrow, the eyelashes, the shadow beneath the eye to make it look very tired and a bit more realistic. As you trace this drawing with your eyes, there's quite a lot to look at. The overall shape of the eye is pretty fantastic too. I'd say unless you're going for something a bit horror themed, don't make those veins either side of the eye too visible. Otherwise, yeah, this looks great. This one by Roblox Player 123 caught my eye because of the very gentle shading. Also the varying line widths, you can see at some points the lines are thicker and sometimes thinner. This is an artistic technique that's surprisingly effective given how simple it is. Some digital tools will kind of do this for you. That said, it's important to know where you want those more weightier lines to go. You generally want them to go on darker parts of the character. I also love how simple the background is. It's just an orange square. It contrasts nicely with the blue on the shirt, and sometimes you just can't argue with simple. Now, I'm someone that has a lot of trouble drawing mechanical things, cars and tanks and war machines in general. I tend to have a lot of trouble with all those really kind of hard edges and corners. I find that drawing things that have some kind of softness to them, in other words, living things or things that are just a bit more natural, I find there's a bit more leeway, that they're a bit more forgiving to draw. So this by That Zealous Zorilla really caught my eye. They've been doing a lot of machinery artwork in the Discord, and this one particularly caught my eye despite the lack of colour, just because of the sheer amount of action going on. I wouldn't want to be where these machines are, mine, but all the rigid lines, the kind of scribbly nature to it, it's very eye-catching. Rhys draws stuff is back, and they really have been drawing stuff. Faces, in fact, and they're getting better seemingly with every time I see them. The shape of the head is toony yet somewhat natural, and the solemn expression kind of matches the muted colours very well. I can see the original sketch lines here underneath in yellow. Sometimes it's fun to see how people work, and the highlights are sharp and always seem to draw your eye. Keep it up, Rhys. Doom has drawn a character from one of my favourite franchises, Assassin's Creed here. I've always loved the designs of the outfits, and this sketch really does it justice. There's so much detail going here from you've got the hidden blades on either arm, you've got the armour, you've got the crest right there on the waist. Very eye-catching shading throughout the whole thing. You've obscured the eyes brilliantly with the shadows as well. Very good proportions on this character. I'd say the torso is just slightly too large, but everything else looks bang on. Ahmed has done quite a few sketches in the Discord this week, but this one especially caught my eye. I love how expressive the pose is. There's just so much movement, so much action going on here. I love the way the eyebrow just kind of angles out past the hat / helmet that's going on. The pose really makes me think of the front cover artwork for Sonic Adventure, if you know what I mean. Just really wacky and over the top, and this is something I absolutely love to see in cartoons. JD has been busy as ever, and I've decided to show a couple of drawings by them because they both showcase pretty interesting yet different things. The one on the left is a static pose of the character with their eyes closed, looking a bit smug, obviously telling someone that, I don't know, they're going to beat them at something or floating that they already have. The pose is simple, but very effective. See, I knew exactly what the character was doing just at a glance. That's a powerful grasp of posing right there. JD is also experimenting a lot with their style at the moment. They're trying different face shapes and different anatomy, and it's really paying off. The drawing on the left right here, this sketch, I could really easily picture this just being on a Cartoon Network show or something. The drawing on the right, on the other hand, showcases a bit of motion. I'm loving the way this near hand is looking, the hand that's kind of open and more towards the viewer. Love that. Keep working on your colors. I'd recommend using slightly less saturated reds. You've got your red all the way to the right there. Maybe bring it down and a bit left. So in other words, darker and less full. That's something I could do more of a tutorial on in the future actually, just so it's a bit more clear what I'm talking about. Anyway, JD, brilliant work. Wow, these colors are fantastic. Squid the Banana is back, drawing their cousin, I assume, the Kraken. Can I just say, you used purple everywhere in this picture. You've used it for the inks of the cloud, of the Kraken, of the ship, and even in the water itself. I'm really impressed by the use of purple basically everywhere in this piece. It doesn't get boring. The green highlights are very adventurous and interesting. It doesn't look like the ends of the Kraken's tentacles. It doesn't look like they're naturally green. It looks like light, and that's exactly what you were going for, and it looks fantastic. I'm really enjoying seeing you experimenting with colors like this. Please keep it up. Murat Kakar is doing some really impressive digital painting. From the lights to the shadows, you've got some really interesting looking lineless pieces here. Lineless artwork is something that's very challenging. It's a whole different kettle of fish to, for example, cell shading your work or inking it, because you're not really doing any of that. You're just kind of painting onto it. You can start with inking a piece and then erasing those inks as you paint on, but that's all down to the individual process of the person who's working on it. There's some great values here. Both of these pieces really caught my eye. They're fantastic. I think my favorite is the kind of dad looking guy on the right. He kind of reminds me of the dad from Inside Out. Perhaps that was the inspiration. Either way, I love the very cartoony anatomy and the really large and expressive head on that guy. Fantastic. Bucket has done this drawing of Hollow Knight, and the likeness is absolutely fantastic. I love all the bubbly details, the tendrils that are coming from the character going in basically every direction. Despite it just being a sketch, it's very expressive and it's very true to the design of the character. By the way, if you've not played Hollow Knight, you probably should. It's really good. Anyway, yeah, Bucket, this shows a lot of promise. I can't wait to see more from you. This one is by Coach, and the wavy kind of style to the hair really intrigued me on this one. The ears have a great shape to them, and the mouth has this very solemn, unimpressed kind of look to it. This is a really, really good portrait, but it can be unbelievably hard to convince the viewer that the character is looking directly at them. If you're watching this video right now, what I want you to do is place a hand, don't touch the screen, you don't have to touch the screen, but just rest a hand over so you're covering the right side of their face. So you're only looking at one half now, just do that. Now, do the same for the other side of the face so that now you've revealed the side of the face that you were just hiding. You can see that with the asymmetry, one eye is a bit too far out. Everything else about this portrait is fantastic. That's a reminder for me to make a tutorial about this exact kind of thing. Really good work there, Coach. Keep it up. Here we have some more pixel art by 25 inches. They've been working with a program called Sprite for a while, and as you can see, it's really paying off. Something I want to just highlight here is the fact that the outline of the character is not done with black as you would traditionally see in a lot of cartoons, but it's actually been done with a very kind of light browny red. This has the effect of softening the image, especially when the color just inside of it is a color that's very similar. So on that note, 25 inches, why don't you give, make the outline around the green jumper, make that a really, really dark green and see how it looks. This is fantastic though. This looks like an NPC or even a main character straight out of an indie game. Fantastic. Here is some fan art of Cult of the Lamb by Mochi Milky Bun. The style of this is incredible. I love the glow of the sort of symbols, the glyphs behind the main character here. They've obviously replaced the normal lamb with a black cat character, and that's a good way of increasing your own interest in something that you want to work on. Maybe you're in the mood for doing some fan art, but you don't really want to draw the character the way they are. You could adapt them into something else inspired by that character. Essentially, another character, maybe one that you own, one that you've created, cosplaying as that character from that game or book or movie or whatever it is you like. So that's a really good artistic challenge for you. Nice work, Mochi. Jose is back and has been rather busy. This is just one of the pieces that they've uploaded to the Discord this month, and this one really caught my eye for two reasons. The first reason is the color palette of this. You've got oranges and colors that are a little bit adrift of that orange, but generally quite similar, against this bluey purple backdrop, and that again is a set of complementary colors. Colors that generally just go very well together because they stand out against each other. The other reason why this caught my eye was a combination of the absolutely mad expression as well as the shading. I like the two-tone shading. It probably gets a little too dark in places given that this is quite a bright environment, but overall it's very, very eye-catching. And last but not least, this is a piece by Godusop, who has done a genuinely breathtaking backdrop here. This looks like concept art straight out of something like World of Warcraft. The cliffs and the greenery and the clouds, the sky. I'd have to be really nitpicky to pick out things with this that don't really work as well as others. This is another example, by the way, of that thing I was talking about a few months ago where when you're drawing a backdrop, things that are really far away kind of fade into the background or become a bit more kind of blue, and they've done a great job of that right here. Just really had to point this one out because I was very, very impressed with it. Wonderful use of colors, lighting, yeah, just lovely. And that's all for this month on the Discord Art Showcase. If you want to see your art on this showcase, go to the Discord, which is it's a link in the chat below. If you click that, you can sign up to Discord if you haven't already, and you can join in the fun. You can chat in the general channel, or you can upload your art to the art channel, and I'll periodically go through and pick out the ones that I feel like have the most talking points. Remember, this video isn't a competition of the best art. It's just the art that I feel like I can really kind of make the most content out of, the ones that I can talk about, share artistic tips and ideas and inspirations from them, and that's really part of the fun. That's what these monthly installments are all about. But that is going to be it for now. If you did not yet click that blue thumbs up, please do if you actually did like the video. If you didn't, why are you still here? This is the end of the video. Why are you still here? Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel as well, that would really, really help me out if you did. Just click that button and you'll catch all my future videos. Until next time.